Crossroads of the West Gun Show returns this Friday and Saturday to the Cache County Event Center at the Fairgrounds. It's America's premier gun show with great deals on guns, ammo, scopes, accessories, and more. Solid wholesale prices, plus jewelry, gift ideas, and door prizes.
We'll scour through, find the best bargain, come back and buy it.
Crossroads of the West Gun Show this Friday and Saturday at the Cache County Event Center at the Fairgrounds. All sales are conducted in compliance with applicable laws. You can buy, sell, and trade at all Crossroads gun shows.
Thursday edition, Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show 2 days after an incredibly important election. What is the fallout? We'll continue to break it all down for you, in particular what's going on Capitol Hill, and will Joe Biden break his silence? Plus, Buck.
The COVID pandemic continues on. The fight over whether children will be subject to vaccine mandates at the top of the headlines. We'll get into that and more coming up on the Clay and Buck Show.
10 to 1 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
News Talk 610 AM, 102.1 FM, KVNU.
The following is a paid program of commercial time on KVNU. The information, offers, and claims are solely those of the sponsor and not the opinions of this station, its affiliates, management, or employees. It's time for the Garden Guide with your host, Mark Anderson from Anderson Seed and Garden.
New research suggests that people are more likely to eat vegetables if they have a tempting name.
What would life be without a homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes.
From gardening to landscaping.
Today we are going to try and create garden eyebrows. Kind of like the flowers are sprouting directly from your hair. That makes sense.
Go! Phone lines are open at 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
Kind of like eating vegetables.
It's the Garden Guide, now on KVNU 610 AM and 102 FM.
And we welcome you to the show on this beautiful Saturday morning as we're seeing the sun just beginning to hit the tops of the Wellsville Mountains, and it is going to be a gorgeous day today. Could see a little rain tomorrow. We'll get a forecast coming up at the bottom of the hour. But great to have you along with us on this final garden show for the season. Mark,
yes.
We're going on hiatus for a little while.
It's nice to have a little bit of a break to look forward to. But, it's been a great growing season. The gardens have been amazing. The flowers have been great. Fall colors. I was talking to the USU Extension agent yesterday, J.D. Gunnell, and we were discussing how colorful the fall was. I mean, the leaves were just absolutely amazing. And I remember back in the late 80s, I was in Europe and got photos from some of my friends, and like Sardine Canyon was like on fire. I mean, it was just like, it was gorgeous. It was so beautiful. I mean, like the most amazing colors. And I'm trying to like compare, what some of the conditions were, because I just don't remember. I don't remember the colors being as intense as they were, in those photos that she sent me, and then this year as well too. And I was just like, God, I wonder what's going on. And then I thought about all the fires were going on in Yellowstone.
So back in the 80s.
It's when Yellowstone like almost burnt down, like there was nothing left, and so that created a lot of smoke in the air as well too. So I'm like going, I wonder if all the smoke had something to do with it. So we're gonna do a little research and find out if trees pulled all that carbon out of the air, and it really affected the color of the leaves as well too. Quite interesting to think about, isn't it? Yeah. So
it was such an amazing fall. And really honestly, we didn't think it would happen because it was so dry.
So dry, yeah. And see, that's what he said too. He's like, he's been talking to all the other extension agents around around the state, and they're all just like, we didn't expect this kind of color to come out, and then boom, here it was. So there's some contributing factor that helped cause all that color. So, but kind of an interesting conversation that we had. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
So,
and now as we look ahead to winter coming, it's time to get the lawns ready for winter. It's time to get flower beds ready, and if you haven't already,
Yeah, I was out this week again, so almost 2 weeks in a row where we were outside, just gathering up hoses and vacuuming up all the leaves. So we got out there with the blower and got all the leaves out of the flower beds and blew them over onto the lawn, then sucked them all up, and all the leaves went out on the garden. So we spread those all out on the garden. I'm going to get a little bit of compost on this week. Hopefully it won't rain too much. My garden's almost dried out enough where I could actually till it.
Till it up.
Yeah, it was like too wet after that last storm, and hopefully we'll get things dried out. Add all that out there. Add some compost. Add some fertilizer. Add some humate, and maybe a little bit of zeolite. Some of the spots that are just not holding the moisture quite well enough, and then get that all tilled in. So exciting to do that. But I'm still waiting to get that winterizer on the lawn. So the weather looks great, and we're gonna have a few little rainstorms, but I like to get it on right before the snow hits. So we could talk about that. So we can talk about winterizing the lawn and how to do that properly. And voles, boy, I've had so many homeowners coming in that have had voles and they're doing damage already. So we can talk about getting voles under control. But there's some great things going on at Anderson's this weekend. So last weekend we had a special for Halloween, and we did our fall mums on sale. So we had some quart-sized mums that we did for $1.50. For each, and they are gorgeous. They're beautiful, and we almost completely sold out of them, but we still have a few left, and so we're still doing that special $1.50 for the quart size mums. The gallon, actually they were 8-inch ones. The 8-inchers are all gone.
They're all gone.
Yeah, we sold all the 8-inchers, but the quart size, they're usually $4.99 each, and we're selling them for $1.50, and they are in full color. They look amazing. Come and take advantage of that. So we got the fall mums in bloom, could be planted outside right now. They can handle the cold that we're getting, and no problems there. But our regular bulbs, it's getting to that point. We're into November. We need to get those guys planted. So we're going to do all of our remaining bulbs will be 30% off. So daffodils, tulips, hyacinths, crocus, whatever we've got left, all those bulbs today, they'll be 30% off. So it's a great time to come in and get some bulbs. The weather's going to be amazing today. Yeah. So great day to be outside doing some stuff. I think I'll do something on the garlic as well, too. So I think we'll do buy one. We could do something with the garlic. So I'm thinking we could do buy one, get one half price. So we could buy one, get one half off on the garlic today. If you would like to have a special deal, get some garlic, get some flower bulbs as well too, and try and get outside and get a few more things done before the weather really changes. So great time to come into Anderson's. All of our fall decor is on sale. It's 25% off right now. So if you want to do a little more decorating for Thanksgiving and just make the house look amazing inside, we've got some beautiful fall decor that is 25% off right now. And all of our Christmas displays are almost done. We've got a little bit more product coming in next week, and so we're still working on some of our displays, but we're getting those all set up for our open house that's coming up. So make sure and save the date. Our open house is the 16th through the 20th of November, and so that's coming up here pretty soon. We'll be doing a live feed, Will, on the 18th. I think it's the 18th that we're doing, but open house coming up the 16th through the 20th of November, so that should be fun. And then we've got a new event this year, which should be really exciting. It's going to be our Nutcracker Night. So the 29th of November, the Civic Ballet is doing the Nutcracker, so they'll be over at the Eccles Theater. But there's a local artist. His name's Paul Anderson. He happens to be my brother, but he makes handcrafted nutcrackers, and he's been doing it for probably 45 years. And he has just some absolutely amazing pieces that he's done. And he does a lot of custom stuff. He doesn't just churn them out. These are all custom. And so for years and years and years, they've been great gifts that he's given to members of our family. But he's also sold a lot of them to people here in the community. And so we're gathering as many together as we can. I think we're going to have about 60 there that night. To display.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So we're going to display. So this is going to be like a gallery walk, arts night at Anderson Seed and Garden, but it's going to be our Nutcracker Night. So it's going to be all about nutcrackers, and he's got some absolutely gorgeous ones. I would say some of my favorites. He did a Santa probably about 20 years ago that was amazing, and so Santa should be there. And for my sister, he did a Puss in Boots, and the Puss in Boots is absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's gorgeous. And we also, my other sister has one that's a penguin that is just unbelievable. Yeah. And so these are very unusual nutcrackers, but he also has traditional ones too. So he's got, the Scotsman, he's got the traditional soldier, he's got the beef eaters, he's got all the traditional ones as well too, but he's done some really, really creative ones. He did a gardener for my dad, and the gardener's really cool. Just a missionary for my brother. They're really, really unique. So this is not just a Nutcracker night. This is an artist night. So these are works of art, and you'll be amazed at how amazing they are. So make sure and get that on your calendar as well too. So the 29th of November, we're going to do it in the evening. So it's going to be from 5 o'clock until 8. We'll turn the lights off, the upper lights at Anderson's, but all the trees will be lit up, and so it's kind of magical inside the store because all the trees are lit up, but it's just this kind of warm glow all through the store. And we'll figure out where to display all the nutcrackers, but it should be a really fun night. I think we're going to kind of tie it in with a fundraiser for Little Lambs as well too. And so it's a Monday night. It's a great night to grab your family. Just come downtown, see what's going on, come into Anderson's, and just feel the holidays. Yeah. And it's right after Thanksgiving, so it should be a lot of fun. So,
great. Yeah, okay, so that'll be coming up on the 29th.
Yeah, and if you're listening and you have one of Paul's unique nutcrackers, because I know there's some around the valley that we probably have forgotten about, but if you have some, reach out to me, let me know, and we could work you into the display as well too. We've probably got about probably 12 people that are going to participate with nutcrackers, but we're going to have about 60. I think we'll have about 60 there. And so it's a good sampling of the amount of nutcrackers that he's done over the years. I don't know if you remember going down to the Cottage restaurant. They had they had nutcrackers there at the front entrance. My brother built those. So he built those, and those were like 5 feet tall. I think they were the really big tall 5-footers. So they had those at the Cottage. We have since lost track of those, so we're not sure where they're at. But those would be awesome, and he'll have a couple bigger ones to display, and I think he's going to have about 5 or 6 to sell as well too, if somebody would like to purchase one while they're there. So we'll have a few to sell as well.
So, great. So the open house coming up in a couple of weeks, and then the 29th at the end of the month,
we'll have the Nutcracker night. Yeah, which should be really fun.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So,
well, we're taking for calls here for the last show of the season, and phone lines are open at 753-5868, 1-800-369-5868. We have Todd joining us on the line from Logan. Todd, welcome to the Garden Guide.
Well, thanks, you guys. I appreciate you taking my call for the last time this year.
Last time of the year.
But, Mark, you and I would talk throughout the year anyway, so this is nothing new for me, right?
Exactly. But
got a question for you, my friend.
Fire away, Todd.
Again, this is for my wife. It's not for me. We've had purslane and spurge in our garden boxes. It seemed like every single year, and she wants it preventative. I've already winterized my garden boxes already with the chicken wire on top to keep critters out.
Sure.
What should I do in the spring to prevent those while I'm planting before I plant?
I was going to say, at this point, if you use a pre-emergent, it will be depleted by spring, so it's not going to do much good. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of germination now. It's getting cold enough. Shouldn't have that happen. But what are you going to be planting in those areas?
What are we going to be planting?
Yes.
We rotate areas. We do tomatoes and peppers. Those are the plants,
so
of course.
Mostly vegetables then.
Yeah.
Okay. Treflan would be the safest to use in there, and it won't affect any of your vegetables. So there's a very extensive label on there what you can use it on. There might be a couple things. I don't think you're doing corn. It will bother corn.
No, we don't do corn.
We don't want to do it around corn because it can damage the corn. But you're pretty good with the rest of the vegetables, and it will kill some vegetable seeds. So if you're transplanting plants in there, that will work just fine. The ones you can use it around that you're planting from seed would be peas and beans, and then carrots and radishes. It won't bother those seeds, but it could inhibit germination on other seeds. So if you're transplanting plants in there, the Treflan won't affect them at all. But if you're starting to grow some of those things from seed, then that wouldn't work, except for the carrots, the radishes, the beans, and the peas. Otherwise, you got to transplant plants in there. But the Treflan will last for 6 weeks, and it kills purslane, and it kills grasses, and it kills spurge, and it kills all kinds of different weeds as they germinate, and it would be safe to use around your edibles.
All right. So just do that.
As soon as the snow melts.
Spring?
Yeah, as soon as the snow melts.
When the snow melts.
Yeah, so like as soon as the snow melts and it's mid-March, latter part of March, put your pre-emergent out there, and then you could plant a lot of your early crops and get those going. But it just depends on what you're planting. If you're going to do it from seed, or if you're going to if you're planting onion plants in there, won't bother the onion plants. If you're doing onion seed, beets? It would stop those. It could stop the beets as well too. So you would not want to put that in the area where you're doing your beets. But once your beets come up and they're growing and they're established, then you could use the Treflan again and prevent all those weeds from germinating for another 6 weeks.
Okay, because she had enough purslane to make a salad from it.
That's good. I found out you have to harvest the purslane first thing in the morning, not in the evening, and it tastes a lot better. It's sweeter after it's sat all night without sunlight, but the sunlight causes it to create malic acid, and it makes it taste bitter. And so you've got to harvest it first thing in the morning. Yeah.
Okay.
I just can't stand it at all.
Will's just
drives me crazy.
Disgusted over here. He's like, I would never eat that. Yeah. It does taste pretty good if you harvest it right.
I've never tried it. Yeah. I've never tried it in the morning, but maybe I ought to, huh?
Like crack of dawn before the sun comes up. So the plant processes the malic acid through the night, and so it dissipates. But then, by the afternoon, it's been getting enough sunlight. It creates it all again, and so it's bitter in the afternoon and evening. So you want to harvest it first thing in the morning. That's when it tastes the best. So there you go.
Well, a bitter plant for a bitter person, huh?
There you go.
There you go.
But anyway, okay, that answers that question. And I think I've asked so many questions this year, I don't remember what I haven't asked you. So.
Hey, that sounds good, Todd.
But I do appreciate you answering my questions year after year and day after day and minute by minute and text by text.
There you go. Hey, thank you for calling in this morning, Todd. I appreciate it. It's been good to have
You're welcome.
Been good to have you on the show this year.
Well, thank you, Mark. I'm sure we'll see you again, and we'll see you in the future sometime.
Absolutely.
We hope so.
Yeah, sounds good.
Have a great weekend,
again,
Todd.
Guys.
Yep.
And that'll clear up the phone lines at 753-5868, 1-800-369-5868. If you have a final question for Mark, as this is our final show of the season, as the show will go on hiatus until March, so only a couple months.
Yeah, 1st of March. Yep. So 4 months. We'll take 4 months off, so I get the holidays, I get the ski season in, and then we're right back to work again.
So we were talking bulbs earlier, and I remember when we had Hank.
Yep, Hank Stufbergen.
He talked about how he soaks bulbs before planting them.
Yes.
That was something I'd never heard of.
Yeah, so that's the amaryllis bulbs, too. So the amaryllis, and they've done some research at, I think it was Rutgers. No, it wasn't Rutgers. It's Cornell University. So they did research at Cornell. And at Cornell, they found that if you take your amaryllis bulb, and when you first purchase it, before you plant it, and soak it in lukewarm water for about 12 hours, it will actually start to get the bulb prepared for planting. And so you just want to submerge it in lukewarm water and let it sit overnight or just during the day, like first thing in the morning, and then you could plant it up in the evening when you got home from work. But usually soak it for about 12 hours. And it starts to rehydrate up the roots that are still remaining on the bottom of the bulb, and it gets new roots going as well, too. And so it's a great way to wake the bulbs up and get them ready to go. And right now we have probably 20 different varieties of amaryllis in stock. Yeah, lots and lots of different colors. Some gorgeous pinks and Christmas reds, and we've got peach colors, and then mixtures of all the different colors. There's some that are they're almost purple. My favorite is called Black Pearl, and it is a really dark red, but it's more of a shiny, glossy leaf on the petal of the flower. So it's not the leaf, but it's the petals of this. So it's a really shiny, glossy color on the flower that most of the amaryllis are more kind of velvety looking, but this is really glossy. It's gorgeous. It's so pretty when it blooms.
Now, are there any advantages of soaking, say, tulip bulbs or anything like that?
I don't think there's any.
All the others?
Yeah, I don't think there's any research done on those, but I would assume that it would do the same thing before you plant them. You could soak them for 12 hours, kind of get them started, plant them, and then make sure and water them afterwards so that they stay moist. Yeah, so that's really the key with the bulbs when you're planting is once you get them in the ground, make sure you water them. Even if your soil has pretty good moisture there, water them thoroughly so that when the ground freezes, we've got good soil moisture. And we are very fortunate. We've had, almost 5 inches of rain in the last month and a half that's really hydrated the soil up. And so, trees are doing great. God, if you drive around town, you look at people's lawns, they look awesome right now. They're just they've greened up. Yeah, ours is growing to the point where we're mowing it every time we're picking up leaves, and we're still mowing grass. It's growing because of all that great moisture that we got. So it's gonna make a difference for people's yards next year. Yeah. It really will. So,
all right, well, let's go back out to the phones. We have Neil joining us on the line from North Logan. Neil, go ahead. Welcome to the Garden Guide.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, no problem, Neil.
I've got a couple of questions for you. The first one, is with all the moisture we've had, do you still need to deep water your trees before, we get real winter set in?
I have not done mine because the soil still has a lot of moisture in it from all the storms. And so this is kind of an unusual fall pattern where we have gotten so much moisture that we really don't need to deep water the trees. If we go for 3 more weeks without much moisture and the soil still hasn't really frozen, I'd probably do it towards the end of this month. But it looks like we've got a couple more storms lined up. So we could get another half inch of water in the next few weeks, and that's just going to keep saturating the soil and keep providing that moisture to the trees to prep for winter. So at this point, I think we're in pretty good shape, Neil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the second question is, we have a pine tree that for the last year or so, it just acts like it's not a real happy camper, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And is there any special fertilizer that we can put on it now that'll help it in the spring, hopefully to get it going more?
That's a great question. I would recommend a fertilizer that's made by Fertilome. It's called Tree and Shrub Food. And the difference between it and, say, just like a general purpose fertilizer like 16-16, 16-16-16, the Tree and Shrub Food has a soil penetrant that has been applied to the fertilizer, and so it will penetrate deeper into the soil quicker. So it'll get down deeper where the roots are at. And it has a lot of micronutrients in there, not just your nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, but it has a whole complement of the micronutrients as well, too, which is what a lot of the trees have been lacking the last few years. So we've seen a lot of stress on pines and spruce, and what they'll do when they get stressed and when they get nutrient deficient is they'll pull the nutrient and the water from the interior needles and push it out towards the new growth. So they'll focus on the new growth. So they'll actually mine the nutrients and the water from the older growth, which will turn brown and kind of fall off, and then push it out towards the newer growth out there. And so if that's been happening with some of your trees, the micronutrients will really, really help. So then it will be able to pick up what it needs out of the soil instead of stealing it from other parts of the tree to make it happen. So that's why I'd go with the Tree and Shrub Food. Plus, it lasts 3 to 4 months.
You can put that on now?
Yeah. It's a 3 to 4 month slow release fertilizer. And so you put it on now, it's going to feed them until March. And it will. It'll be great through the wintertime. They'll just, even though the trees go dormant, they're still picking up water and nutrient through the wintertime. So adding a little bit of fertilizer out there will really kind of help rejuvenate them and get them going for next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
You are so welcome. Thanks for calling this morning, Neil.
I appreciate your show.
Thank you. Have a good one.
And phone lines are open if you have a call for Mark, 753-5868, 1-800-369-5868. We're talking lawns about this is really a great time to be able to prep them if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Many of us are kind of about halfway through because we started
Right.
Just haven't quite gotten everything done yet.
So we've mowed our lawn twice this week to pick up leaves, but we have dropped the mower blade down considerably, so it's almost like right down to the bottom. And picking up those leaves, picking up those grass clippings, chopping them all up. It works great to add that to the garden to work into the soil. A lot of carbon matter there to add into your soil. So great way to boost your soil for next year. But there's not a lot of nutrient in the grass clippings and the dry leaves. It's mostly just carbon. So make sure you add nitrogen to break that down. So many times I have gardeners that come in, they're like, I just put all my leaves out in my garden every single year, and it's just my garden's just not performing. They're not getting enough nitrogen out there with it as well, too. So if you get lots and lots of carbon-based organic matter, which is all brown, dry stuff, it's going to build your soil back up, but it's not going to put nutrient back into it. And as it decomposes, it pulls all the nitrogen out of the soil. And so then you're nitrogen depleted the next year. So then your plants, your seeds germinate, they come up, and your plants just kind of sit there. They don't grow because they just don't have enough nitrogen. So you got to make sure and add nitrogen to it in the fall as you till that in, so that as it breaks down through the winter, it has enough nitrogen to speed up that decomposition process. The microbes and the microorganisms that do that work, they need the nitrogen to help speed up that process. Then in the spring, you got to do it again. You got to add more nitrogen because it's going to break all that nitrogen down to decompose all that organic matter. So nitrogen in the fall, nitrogen again in the spring, and then you will see a big difference in your garden. And micronutrients are so essential. So we've got a great product that's called Azomite that has a lot of minerals and a lot of micronutrients in it. And we found that if you're lacking micronutrients, it affects the flavor of your vegetables. Mm-hmm. And so you want to add those micros. Humate's got a good source of micronutrients and minerals. So does the Azomite. We'll use both sometimes to build that soil back up, and that's what keeps your vegetables tasting amazing when you're harvesting them, because they're pulling all those minerals and micros out of the soil. I mean, they got to have a source for it. They don't just magically appear in the, in the vegetables. They got to get it from somewhere. So, if you've been gardening in the same location for years and years and years, you got to build that back up. Yeah.
We noticed it after we had been gardening in the same plot for about 4 years. All of a sudden, the 5th year, the corn didn't get much taller than about, waist high. And we thought, what? We haven't changed anything. Mm-hmm. We haven't done anything different. But after time, we just sucked all the nitrogen.
All the nitrogen, yeah. The corn's a nitrogen hog, so your corn will just get shorter and shorter, and it won't produce if you just don't have enough nitrogen out there. So critical.
Yeah.
It's critical that we add stuff back in there. So got distracted. We were talking lawns, but I thought it was a perfect time to kind of segue into doing that. Because I've had, seriously, 3 people come in the store this week, and they're like, God, every fall I put all my leaves and all my grass clippings out there, but my garden just doesn't perform the way I'd like it to. And that's because they're not adding
you got to add something to it.
Yeah.
Those leaves and other things, we've been doing clippings.
They're great. Yeah, it's great. But you got to add the nitrogen to it, or otherwise you're going to suffer the next year. So.
Let's go back out to the phone lines before our news break. We have Gordon joining us on the line. Gordon, welcome to the Garden Guide.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing?
Doing great, Gordon. How about you?
Great. Got almost my lawn done, other than I've got to go out with my leaf blower and try to blow the leaves off my last holdout, the apple tree, and then I can get them raked up.
Isn't it interesting how the leaves all drop at different times? Every tree, some just kind of hang on a little bit longer, and some just all at once. Like my mom's got this big ash tree that just got hammered with the snowstorm, but that sucker was so gorgeous. Like, it was just golden, and then 2 days later, there was nothing left on it.
Yep. But I wanted to report, with the dry summer, I got my Hydratane and my Humates put down at the beginning of the summer, and we hardly watered our lawn all summer. We would go 2 weeks or more between waterings, and it looked decent. It wasn't gorgeous.
Wasn't perfect, yeah.
But it looked decent all summer, and so I'm a believer in the Hydratane. That's amazing stuff.
Out in Newton, you were really restricted on watering.
Yeah, the dam went dry really early this year, and so we just had to be super, super careful with everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in fact, I was just up last night taking pictures, and the water levels are coming back up. Beautiful sight.
It is,
so
isn't
it? The rain has helped a lot.
Oh, what a difference 5 inches of water makes in a month. So, hopefully we'll keep that trend going, and we'll be back in shape again next year. But you bring up a great point, Gordon. Even if we do get our reservoirs filled up next year, we should still be doing the same thing that we did this year, because water's going to be an issue in the future. And so Hydrotain, it is really amazing. That stuff makes a huge difference in how much you have to water.
Okay, quick question. I have to do some fairly heavy pruning on 2 of my apple trees. Am I better to do it now or wait till they're dormant and do it kind of during the winter or really early spring?
They're really starting to go dormant because we're getting those consistent, cool temperatures at night. And I think if you did some pruning now, you'd be in great shape. So I don't think that would be a problem. And then you could just kind of tidy things up in the spring. So
yeah, if we get another break with the rain, that would be wonderful.
Yes, yes, it would.
Had one odd thing. Will had mentioned that he had tons and tons of birds. We had 2 times during the summer this year when all of our birds basically disappeared. We have a Niger feeder and regular feeder, and for 2 weeks solid, I did not see a single bird. One was during the smoke.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, maybe they've gone someplace during that. But the other was just a few weeks ago, and they're kind of back, not like they were, but I thought, did they all go to Will's house or something?
Probably. We're just sharing them back and forth.
Yes.
I don't know.
Interesting.
It was kind of uncanny, and it was kind of creepy.
Yeah. Like lots of birds, and all of a sudden, nobody's coming. And they wonder if there's like a predator out there, and they all decide to go somewhere else. So,
well, we have cats, but I also have a big squirt gun that kind of keeps the cats
at bay. Yeah. But we have seen a lot of hawks and eagles this year too, and a lot of those small birds will move away when some of those big raptors come in. So they've got to keep their eyes open. So
that could be. We heard 2 big bangs on the window yesterday and went out, and there was a little peregrine falcon sitting in the tree, and one of the birds was laying on the ground, stunned. The falcon took off, and I got the bird, just put him back up in the tree, and he kind of sat there and blinked for a few hours, for about 10 minutes, and then flew off. So maybe that's it. Maybe we had somebody move in that the other birds didn't like.
That's a possibility. So
yeah. All right. Well, let's go and let's do the news. So thanks. Appreciate you guys. We'll miss you during the winter. So
for sure.
In the spring.
Thanks for calling, Gordon, and you have a wonderful weekend.
All righty. Take care.
All right. Thanks.
And we still have time to take your call as we head into the bottom of the hour break. Now, Scott is joining on the line, and we'll get to him coming up in just a minute. You're listening to The Garden Show here on News Talk KVNU.
For Will Philwright, I'm Bill Walter, KVNU News. A 32-year-old Hiram man has been arrested after police claimed he was sharing child pornography through social media. Kiai M. Yee was booked Thursday night into the Cache County Jail after officers obtained a warrant for his cell phone and questioned him. According to an arrest report, the Logan City Police Department received information from the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. The cyber tip explained how Yee was suspected of exchanging child pornography through Facebook Messenger. Yee was questioned by police after being advised of his Miranda rights. He admitted to using Facebook to exchange pornographic material, but could not recall sending or receiving child pornography. He also confessed to using Facebook on his cell phone, which was taken into evidence. Jail records show Yee was booked on 2 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor, a second-degree felony. He was later released. Formal charges are pending the completion of officers' investigation. Thousands of intelligence officers could soon face dismissal for failing to comply with the U.S. government's vaccine mandate, leading to concerns from Republican lawmakers about potentially hurting agencies considered critical to national security. While the percentage of intelligence personnel who have been vaccinated is higher than for the American public, there are lower percentages in some of the 18-agency intelligence community of approximately 100,000 people. That's according to U.S. Representative Chris Stewart, a Utah Republican who says he's vaccinated but opposes mandates as counterproductive. Mostly cloudy over the weekend, chance of rain showers by Sunday and cooler temperatures. For the latest news, visit CashValleyDaily.com.
From ABC Sports, I'm Brian Clark. Former number one pick and NBA MVP Derrick Rose continues to shine in his role off the bench. He helped the New York Knicks overcome a slow start in Milwaukee.
Here's Rose, dribbled off a foot, but picks it up top against Giannis. Pull up three is good.
Call on WEPN-FM after spotting the defending champs a 19-point first-quarter lead. Rose keyed a dramatic comeback with his 23-point effort. New York stunned Milwaukee 113-98. The Clippers made it a clean sweep in Minnesota.
Paul George, top of the key. Jackson off a screen. He's open on the right wing. He'll try the three. He buries it.
On KLAC, led by Paul George's 21 points and Reggie Jackson's 20, Clips erased a 20-point deficit to top the Timberwolves 104-84. It's the second win for Los Angeles over Minnesota following a 126-115 triumph Wednesday night. This is ABC.
Take your business to the next level with Cache Valley Chamber of Commerce. Whether you're looking to open a new location or broaden your marketing footprint, we'll help you expand your reach throughout Cache Valley. Serving the local business community for over 100 years, the Chamber has the staff, knowledge, and resources to help your business succeed. As a member, you enjoy numerous benefits, from exclusive discounts to social gatherings. Every month, you can choose from a variety of networking events, learning seminars, and workforce development opportunities.
Visit cashchamber.com for more info.
The Logan Holiday Gift Show at the Riverwoods Conference Center is Friday and Saturday, November 12th and 13th. The perfect place to kick off your holiday shopping. Your entire family will love the hundreds of ideas and wonderful treats. Clothing, books, jewelry, purses, home and holiday decor, baby items, and so much more. Don't miss Logan's premier holiday gift show, the Logan Holiday Gift Show, Friday and Saturday, November 12th and 13th at the Riverwoods Conference Center. Start your holiday shopping off right. Don't miss it.
The expert with a green thumb. It's the Garden Guide on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
And welcome back to the Garden Show on this beautiful Saturday morning, 8:41 now. And Mark joining us on the line, and we're going to jump right back out to the phone lines because Scott has been joining us. And
he's been so patient.
Held on during the break, and we really appreciate that. Scott, welcome to the show. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, so maybe you can help us settle a little bit of a debate in our house. We have a aspen tree, and during that big snowstorm we had about a month ago, we planted the tree about a year prior to that. It's about 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches in diameter. So it's not a huge tree, maybe about 8 or 9 feet tall.
Okay.
When the snow hit, it had all the leaves on it. It cracked it off about halfway up, from where the leaves started to the top.
Sure.
And so that top part is no longer. Is it worth to trim that tree and nurse it along because it seems to be doing good, or should we start again?
Aspens grow very quickly, and they can recover from that kind of damage quite nicely. So I would probably trim it up, just get that break so it's nice and clean, and then and then encourage a new branch to turn into your central leader. I had the same thing happen on my ginkgo tree, which made me cry because ginkgos grow about 6 inches a year, and your aspen could grow 3 feet a year, and so
that's about what we got out of it between the 2 years we had it.
Right, so. They'll really take off. So you've got that root system well established. You've lost some pieces off that tree, but the root system hasn't been damaged. So it's going to be big enough to sustain a much larger tree. And so you're going to see a lot of growth on it next year. So what I'd probably recommend is you just leave it, let it do its thing, get some growth out. And then this coming fall, next year, get in there and selectively prune and take a little bit more growth out so you can encourage the central leader to take off again. And I think in 2 years you'll have a tree that's taller than the one you had that got damaged.
That sounds great. My wife was wanting to dig it up and start over. And then she goes, it's going to be a bush rather than a tree. I go, no. I think we can get it to go.
So
I appreciate the advice.
If you just leave it, it kind of will be bushy for a little while. But if you do a little selective pruning and kind of choose the branches you want to encourage, how you prune will make that happen. And even if you want to take some pictures of it, bring it in, I'd be glad to help you, select which pieces to let go and which ones to kind of trim back to encourage some of that growth. But if it were me, I think I would encourage that to keep growing instead of rip it out and put a new one in.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Hey, thanks for calling this morning, Scott, and have a great weekend.
Okay, you too.
All right, bye.
And phone lines are open at 753-5868, 1-800-369-5868. Still 15 minutes in the show. Plenty of time to take your final calls for the Garden Show on this season before we take a little time off and be back in March. We were talking about bulbs when we got into talking about prepping lawns.
Yes.
One of the things that a lot of us are looking at doing right now, winterizing, getting that fertilizer in, that one last application. Right. This is really the best time to be doing it right about now.
It is. We recommend between Halloween and Thanksgiving, which is right now. And so it's a perfect time to get that lawn mowed really close and then apply your winterizer fertilizer. And that could be, 16-16-16. That could be a higher nitrogen fertilizer. Winterizer from Fertilome is one of our favorites. It's got those micronutrients in there we were talking about earlier with a slow release nitrogen. So the winterizer from fertilizer is perfect. I'm watching carefully the weather right now. And so I'm going to let mine go probably another week or two because it looks like we're going to get some rain this coming week, but no snow. And I want to put it on right before it's going to snow and right before it's going to stick. And then it will feed it through the entire winter. So that winterizer from Fertilome, it's a real slow release nitrogen, so it's going to last 8 to 10 weeks. So you're going to get 2 to 2.5 months of fertilizer out of that, and that's when the grass really recuperates. It picks up a lot of nutrient and rejuvenates itself from a stressful year that we've had this year. So we are very fortunate that we've had so much moisture in the last month, and so the grass has really, really recovered. But we need to feed it. We need to get it back in shape and feed it a little bit. And so this is the most important fertilization of the year, as far as I'm concerned. If you could only fertilize once, this is the time to do it, because your grass will really rejuvenate and recuperate from all the stress and all the damage through the year. So getting that winterizer on in the next couple weeks is kind of critical to help bring it back to life.
And if you have the means to aerate too. We've talked about how this is a great time during the fall to aerate.
Especially with the soil moisture right now, you're going to pull amazing plugs out of the soil. So you're going to open that soil up, allow water and nutrient and air to get down in there, and your root system will just take off like crazy. So fall's really a great time to aerate, and it's a little bit late for doing some overseeding. I mean, once we get into November, it's kind of like, it's probably a little too late to plant grass.
May not take off.
Yeah, but you could still do it like a bluegrass, and that seed will fall down in the holes. It'll just kind of sit there all winter, and then it will germinate next spring and just take off, and that would be excellent as well. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back out to the phone lines. Leslie is joining us on the line in Hiram. Leslie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I have a ton of leaves on my garden and wondered what is best to be able to use the nutrients in those this next spring.
Yeah.
What do I put on them to help it?
Yep. So I do the same thing. So as we pick up all of our leaves, in fact, I went and did my neighbors yesterday, picked up all their leaves and took them and threw them on the garden.
Would you like my address?
That's a good possibility. Andersons have been known to scour the neighborhood for everybody's leaves that they've put in bags because they're nice and convenient. Everybody will gather the leaves up, put them in bags, and then we'll go and just conveniently take them.
Yes.
and
save them from having
and then they wake up the next
work.
morning and they go, oh, the city is amazing. They've come and picked those all up, and it was Anderson's coming and stealing all their leaves. But we haven't had to do that this year.
Now everybody knows.
Yeah, exactly. So we put a lot of leaves and a lot of grass clippings out there, and sometimes I'll add some compost as well too. But what I do before I till, and you want to make sure and till those leaves in, because if they sit on the surface, they're just going to mold and not decompose properly. So you got to get it incorporated into the soil. So right before
Is it too wet now to do that?
Depends on your soil. So mine's really close.
clay.
Yeah, mine's really close to being tillable. I think by Monday, if we don't get a big storm, Sunday, Monday, I think I could probably do it maybe Monday, but we'll see what happens. But before I till, I put an application of Humate on. So the Humic from Natural Guard, I broadcast that over, and that has the minerals and the micronutrients that will build your soil back up, but it also has the microbes and the microorganisms and the fulvic and humic acids in there that will break all your leaves down and release all the nutrient, make it available to your plants. So the humic is essential to get that stuff to break down over the winter time. Then to feed those microbes and microorganisms, we're going to add some nitrogen. So just a straight nitrogen fertilizer on there, about 4 pounds per 1,000 square feet would be perfect. So ammonium sulfate, ammonium nitrate, anything with a high first number would be great. Just make sure there's no herbicides in there. And go ahead and apply that with the Humate and the leaves, and then till it all in, and away you go.
Oh, great. Okay.
Right.
I'll be in.
That's the way to do it. 4 to 6 pounds per 1,000 square feet of nitrogen. And if you have a bag and you're not quite sure how much is in the bag, 2 cups is about a pound. So 2 cups, 2 cups per pound. And so with a pound, you're going to cover 250 square feet, which is about 16 by 16.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome, Leslie. Good luck with your garden, and you have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
It's going to be beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Thanks. Bye.
Yep, bye-bye.
Lisa's also joining us on the line from also out in Hiram. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Last spring, it was late in the spring, I bought some Cazeron to put around my rose bushes.
Yes.
And I think I was a little late in putting that on, but it still worked pretty good.
Great.
And I'm wondering, do I put some more on this fall, or do I only do that in the spring?
The Cazeron lasts about 6 to 8 months, and so you could put it on this fall, but I don't know if it's going to do you a whole lot of good because you're going to lose a lot of it, more than half of its duration by putting it on the fall. So I would do it immediately in the spring, right after the snow melts, and your soil's like dry enough that you're not going to sink in up to your neck in mud.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
You are welcome. Yeah, you want to get it on early because it'll stop all those weeds that germinate super early and kill them if they're small and already germinated, and then you should be good all the way until latter part of the summer. And, God, that stuff's amazing. It just really does a great job and saves you so much work.
Well, it seemed to do a really good job because I've never used it before, and so this last year was the first time I put it on, but it was probably the end of April, the beginning of May.
Yeah, and you had
before I put it on.
Had a lot of weed germination before that, but it's great that it will kill a lot of those existing weeds as well as prevent all the new ones from coming up. So I'm glad you had good results with it. Awesome.
Yep, I did. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Lisa. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Still about 8 minutes. Time to squeeze in one more call. If you have a final call for Mark Anderson for the Garden Show, 753-5868, 1-800-369-5868. We didn't get a chance to mention as we came out of the bottom of the hour news break that a lot going on this weekend at Anderson Seed and Garden with bulbs on sale.
Yes, there is. So we've got our tulip bulbs and daffodils, hyacinths, crocus. Since we're getting close to the end of the season, we'd like to make sure someone takes advantage of those. And so all of our bulbs are 30% off this weekend and probably next week as well, too. And so come in and take advantage of that. The weather's great. Get outside, do some planting, and you can get 30% off all of our remaining bulbs. And I have some really good ones, too. I've got some great daffodils left. And if you've got deer problems, daffodils, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Got to go with the I'm thinking about putting a whole bunch out in front of my house. I planted a new magnolia tree this summer, and I can hardly wait for it to bloom next year. It is so gorgeous. And if it had yellow daffodils all underneath it would look amazing. I'm tempted to do some tulips, but we have a herd, like a literal herd of deer in our yard every single night. And it's not just 3 or 4, it's like 10. And so this herd is just running around the neighborhood rampant, eating everything. They were in my garden last night eating the tops off of my carrots and the tops off my beets that we're trying to store for winter, but that's the way it goes. So come in and get those tulips or daffodils or hyacinths, 30% off right now. And our fall decor is on sale as well, too. So all of our fall decorations for inside, home decor for the fall, also 25% off. And so it's a great time to take advantage of that. And I think I'm going to do the garlic. I think we'll do the garlic on sale, too. So we'll buy one, get one half off. So
for
basically,
garlic.
Yeah, for the garlic. And so we're getting low on varieties, but we're to the point where I'd love to see those get planted as well, too, so we don't have any leftovers. But I've just been taking it home and eating it. Yeah. And it's so good. There's some really, really good varieties of garlic that we've got still. So about a great time to get those planted. Okay. And then save the date for for our Nutcracker Night, which is the 29th of November, which should be a great artistic event to come down and see all these handmade, handcrafted, local nutcrackers of all shapes and sizes. Yeah, should be really fun. And then you get to Monday night. Yeah, then you get to do it on a Monday night, and the store's just enchanting at that point where we just have the Christmas trees and the garlands and wreaths all lit up, but we turn off all the other lights, and so it's just like this enchanted forest of Christmas. And the store, I mean, it looks totally different when we turn all the lights off. It has a completely different look to it than when you come in and the upper lights are on. And so it's just really kind of fun. It's really a great night. We do it usually once a year, and we'll have like a special event, kind of a Christmas walkthrough is what we call it. But we'll do it in conjunction with our fundraiser for Little Lambs as well, too. So the Nutcracker Night on the 29th of November. And our open house is coming up the 16th through the 20th. Of November as well, too. So save those dates. We'll have lots of fun going on.
All right. Well, Dwight's been hanging on the line with our last question for the Garden Show. Dwight from Logan, welcome to the show. Thanks for calling.
You're welcome. Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Can all trees be pruned this time of year?
I try not to do too much pruning on some trees in the spring because they bleed like crazy. And so maples and birch are excellent to prune in the fall. So I would highly recommend.
How about the fruit trees I bought from you? Apple, cherry, and peach.
I would do a little bit of maintenance pruning in the fall and then follow up with some more in the springtime. So it's okay to do your fruit trees in the fall. Traditionally, it's done mostly in the springtime, but I wouldn't do too much pruning because you always have to go back in and do a little bit more in the spring. You might get a little bit of winter damage or whatever happens. At my house, it's deer damage, and so I have to go back in and clean them up after the deer hacked them to pieces. Through the winter time. So a little bit of pruning this fall would not be a bad idea, Dwight. In fact, I kind of trimmed up some of my peaches that the deer had already started pruning this week. Yeah.
40%, 30%?
If they're newly planted, I would just do some selective pruning and maybe kind of thin some of the branches out, kind of start opening it up a little bit. I've got a great pruning guide that is on our website as well as in our fruit growing guide if you need just some pointers on how to do that. And I've got some great videos on our website as well, too, that show you all the basics of pruning as well, too. But if you come into the store, I'd be more than happy to show you all that stuff, too.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Anytime, Dwight. You have an amazing weekend. Thanks for calling.
You too. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. We'll see you.
Okay, and that's going to almost wrap things up for us here. We've got just a couple
sneak
minutes.
Like a really quick, short question in if somebody wanted to.
Absolutely.
But we're on our countdown, aren't we?
It is.
We, Will?
We've got about 2.5 minutes left. We just kind of brushed over the open house, and that's going to be a huge week-long event.
Yeah. And the store is almost done. We're really, really close, and it's looking amazing. The customers that are coming in, they're just raving about how amazing everything looks, and we're excited about how it looks. We're inside. We're appreciating what everybody's saying, but inside we're kind of going, I wish this product were here, or
still waiting.
Or if only those bells would have come, this tree would look even more amazing. There's just bits and pieces that we're just missing, and so we are very happy with how things have turned out. The store, it really looks amazing right now, and if you want to just kind of come in and just browse around and get the holiday spirit going. If you're just kind of feeling like you're missing the holiday spirit, just come into the store and we won't harass you. Just come in, and just enjoy it and just breathe in the holiday cheer that we've got there, and it really kind of lifts people before they leave. So the store's looking amazing. It's ready for the holidays, and we've got a few more displays that we're going to do, and by the time we do the open house starting on the 16th through the 20th, it'll be ready to go.
Great.
It'll be all ready. So
one of the things that a lot of people are looking forward to is getting those lights hung, and that's one of the things that Anderson's
we do that too. So we've got incandescent, we've got LED, we've got a whole bunch of different sizes and styles. I've got the Lightstream lights that change colors, and so my lights on my house were Halloween colors last week. Now they're Thanksgiving colors, and in a couple weeks we'll change those over to Christmas colors, and it's the same lights that are up the whole time. And I've got crews that can come and install those for you. We can get you a bid if you want to have somebody come and do it. But we can offer incandescent, which is a little bit less expensive, but they tend to break. LED lasts a lot longer, a lot less energy consumption, and much more durable. And so we've had really, really great feedback on our LED lights as well too. And we custom cut. So we custom cut the lights so they fit perfectly to your house, and then you get to keep the lights for forever until they wear out. And we can just come back and reinstall them every year. We can just leave them up as well too. So we can work that out both ways, whichever way you'd like. So,
all right.
But our crews are ready to go. If you want to call into Anderson, 752-2345, or you can call Logan Extermination, which is our services division, and they're 752-8450, and we can get the appointment scheduled to try and do that for you. Yeah.
Well, Mark, enjoy your time off.
I'm going
Thank you for a great season of the Garden Show.
And thank you for being here, Will. It's been great to have you.
It's been a great year, and we'll see you again next year.